Good afternoon, and we are back again with the Chaos and Calm podcast via YouTube, MYSENSability YouTube channel, and I'm really pleased and honoured that I've got a new guest on that is, well, he's not a new guest, he's a new guest on the YouTube channel, but he isn't a new guest to the Chaos and Calm podcast. He actually has been on Chaos and Calm before, haven't you, Craig?
I have indeed.
He's a bit of a legend, to be honest.
Oh, I seem to be. Everyone seems to know
you
who
are,
I am
aren't you?
and what I do. Yep.
I bet you can't walk down the street without being recognised, can you?
Oh, I get married everywhere.
So for those
regarding Fen, I go anywhere and everyone knows who I am. It's frightening.
Oh, well, that's a good achievement. That is a good achievement.
It's a brilliant achievement, and it's nice that it's been recognised. I just hopefully one day more people in the hair industry adopt these methods, and
we should be just it's like what I'm trying to strive for at the moment, which is to make sure that all people who go through like the PGCE and want to become a teacher, as part of that you have to be SEN trained. It's the same difference, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not going to go away. Let's have it right.
No.
So for those that are not familiar with Craig, Mr. Henderson, Craig is a neurodiverse barber based in Bolton. We had a conversation, didn't we, Craig's Barbers, when I first launched MYSENSability. We had a really good chat about what it is that you do. And how you do it, and I constantly share your posts because we know that actually one of the biggest challenges of having a child with SEN is getting a haircut. So tell us. Well, I don't need to tell you. You're a dab hand at this, Craig. Tell us what it is exactly that you do as a neurodiverse barber.
So basically, I just give them the ability to just be them.
Yes.
And take all the pressures out of it. So it doesn't have to be cut in the chair. They don't have to wear a gown. And just educate them, and the parents and the caregivers for that matter, about the whole experience, and take all the fear away out of it and all the anxiety.
Yeah.
And help the parents understand the process.
So do you do kind of like what we would call a bit of a social story, but you do a bit of a social story, don't you?
If
you
parents request that, that's what we bring in. But usually the first, say, 3 or 4 appointments, it's usually me getting to know the child and what they need from me. Okay.
So do you do like consultations first?
In a fashion, I ring up parents beforehand if I get time and go, right, what's your son's needs, what's your daughter's needs, what triggers them, what sets them off when they go for a haircut experience. Is it noise? Well, we can eradicate that one straight away because it's not a noisy environment.
No, I've been there, it's not. Yeah.
Or is it the sensory side of it? Like the feel of the hair on them. But that's the thing we've just got to overcome naturally and desensitize them to it.
So what kind of strategies do you use to desensitize if they've got a sensory need around actual texture of hair on them?
Just let them feel it and let them get used to the sensation of it. That's what I say with all anxieties. You've just got to put yourself into it to get through it.
Well, that's it. It's desensitizing, as you said.
Exactly, but we don't want to hit trauma. This is the other thing. You don't want to hit trauma. If they get angry and frustrated, that's fine. They'll forget that when they walk out at the shop. Yeah. But if they're traumatic, if it's traumatizing for them, should I say, that's a whole different level. That's
they won't forget that.
That's imprinted into the brain, and then that's it. You've lost them completely.
Yes.
And this is where it all goes wrong in most barber shops because they hit trauma state where they're in floods of tears, not everywhere. They're getting violent. They're lashing out. They're beating you up. Because I've been beaten up because of it, because of past experiences they've dealt with. And I've seen a barber and they think, right, all the way I get out of this now is being violent.
Yes.
Because I'll stop, but I won't stop. That's what I want.
Well, they don't know you, do they, Craig?
I'll take it all. I'll take the punches. I'll take the bites.
Yeah.
I've had it all. But and then when they realise I'm not backing down, they back down and go, oh, right, okay.
But I think importantly, part of one of your strengths of what you do is the fact that you understand SEN and neurodiversity on a really, really deeper level, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think it's that helps you to use the skills, if you want, for a better word, to actually have more success with these children, with these young adults, because you understand sensory processing, autism, ADHD. You're very knowledgeable on it, and you've gone to an extent of actually being able to invest in those children
Exactly.
and investing in in how you can understand why they're doing what they're doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm going to
exactly.
get, I've given it a name now. We call it backstage.
Yeah,
Why the behaviour front of house, what's actually caused, what's going on backstage.
exactly.
And I think that's why you're so successful, Craig. So last time I met you, you were being nominated for an award. You'd won one, hadn't you?
I won. So
How
yeah,
many
I
have
was
you won
nominated for
now?
one.
Yeah.
I don't know which one that one was for. I think that
It was one
was
where you thought it was a scam.
the NHS award.
The
Yeah,
NHS award, yeah.
yeah. So I won that last year.
Yeah.
That was just insane. That was just the most surrealist experience I've ever had in my entire career.
Yeah.
Because I walked in on that evening, and it was full of doctors, surgeons, caregivers,
Yes.
all these healthcare professionals, and I'm just a barber. I was doing 2 back and sides an hour ago before I went, and it's like, and I'm just walking around listening to the conversation. Oh, we set this compliance plan up for these dementia patients. I saved a kid's life this morning. I did open heart surgery. I'm like,
Yeah. I'm a
I'm just
barber.
cutting her. I'm just cutting her. And even when Andy Burnham did his speech at the beginning, he said, I'd like to thank you all to the NHS, what you've done through COVID and all this carry on. And we've got amazing dentists in here. We've got all these amazing healthcare professionals, and we've got a barber. And everyone
Is that
just
what
stopped. They went silent. I'm like,
I love that. And we've got a barber.
right, okay, no pressure here whatsoever. And then they started going on about reading out the nominations on the
Yeah.
community hero section or the community champion section. And they're reading them all out. I'm like, I've got no chance. Like, some of the people who were in my category were insane what they do for the community.
Yes.
Like, they had this 89-year-old woman who set up a dementia cafe because she lost her husband to dementia.
Oh, wow.
And she just wants to get people together to like jog memories and play like vintage music in this cafe all day. I'm like, I can't compete against her.
Yes.
This is not a chance.
Yeah.
And then my name got called out, and that was it. I just felt like everything just went silent.
Wow.
And it was like, what's just happened? And everything just went really, really loud, like proper overwhelming moment.
So they all now knew who the barber was.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And like the chief of the NHS come up to me afterwards and said, congratulations, we love having services like this in our community because we can signpost onto you. So now every kid who gets diagnosed within Greater Manchester now, in the welcome pack, I'm in there.
Your information.
My information is in there, so the kids can get signposted with me for personal hygiene.
Fantastic.
So I give people advice about like how to wash the kids, how to wash the hair, all that carry on when they come. So it's a big full round package with me. Because I've lived it. My son's got SPD and my daughter's just been diagnosed with autism. But he's sensory seeks and my son's sensory avoids. So I understand every single angle of it.
But I think, is that not one of the reasons though, Craig, that you were nominated for that award anyway?
Well, because I go into schools. I go into a lot of schools.
Yes.
In specialist divisions. And one of the main schools I go to, they nominated me for it. So that was beautiful. I just thought, cause I found out on the evening who nominated me for it. Because it said at the end, because they have to do a little video thing.
Yes.
They said, oh, this is why we've nominated Craig, blah. And it was just so touching that I've made that much of an impact in that school.
Wow. And it's very rare. I'd never heard of it, to be fair. Not on the scale that you do it, because you actually go into specialist provisions, don't you, and cut hair. We need to, I said to you the first time I met you, we need to replicate you at least 3 or 4 times.
The amount of people who are coming to me now, I think I need to clone myself in a gene pool or something.
No, what you need to do is, I said to you last time I met, you need to set up the Craig's Barbers Neurodiversity Hair Academy, where people come and get trained by you. Is it on its way? Why does that not surprise me? I said
it's not called Craig's Barbershop though. That's the thing.
It's not called Craig's Barbershop.
It's going to be called More Than Hair.
More Than Hair. I like it.
It's going to cover every disability, not just neurodivergencies.
Will you keep me posted about that?
I will indeed. I'm just finishing it off now because I've had to reword it about 400 times.
Right, okay.
Because I have to make it appeal to the masses. I could talk to you with all the technical language all day long, Gaynor, and you'll understand it. You're talking to a bunch of hairdressers and barbers, you start throwing neurotypical at them and neurodivergent, you look at it like you got 2 heads. Like, what's one of them?
Well, that's amazing, Craig. I'm so pleased to hear that, because I called that to the universe last year when I met you. I said, we need to clone you, and you need your own hair academy.
Yeah.
Did I not say that?
Yeah.
Where you train everybody. I mean, the thing I love about your salon as well
Yeah.
When you go, is you've got all the like toys out on the floor. There's like a little sensory bit where they can play, and you're there on your hands and knees cutting these little toddlers'
Pretty much.
hair
I'll do it
and
anyway.
following them.
I've been up and down the road before now.
I remember when you told me about the when you went to the bus stop, you followed him
I've
to the
got
bus
another
stop,
one now.
didn't
He
you?
sprints up and down the road now when he comes. Honestly,
Does he?
Runs every single shopping up, so every shop door, and closes every shop door. He's got an obsession with doors.
Right, okay.
That's his thing. That's his little special
you chase
interest.
after him up and
I have
down
to
the
chase him
road.
after him all the way at top of the road and all the way back down again. Honestly.
I mean, you know, the dedication, you've gone over and above dedication.
Oh yeah,
and
I
that's
do
why
every single time, and it's just nice to like watch these parents' reaction. Like this week, I had a family from Inverness.
Wow,
So
and
TikTok.
that's a trek.
It is. They found me on TikTok, and I'm like, this is just mental.
Yeah.
But they said they tried different sensory barbers because my approach is so different.
So different.
Because my approach is desensitizing them to a barber's shop.
Yeah.
Not the haircut as well.
And it doesn't look like a barber. Even though it is a barber's, it doesn't look like a barber's, if that makes sense.
No, and that was the idea behind the design of it.
Yeah. It doesn't look like a barber's. It's got toys. Yeah.
And all that carry on. Because some barbers have toys in them. Some have like little things in, but most of these sensory barbers, as probably who are listening to this have seen, they go to a separate room.
Right, okay.
And that, my art, that's discrimination. And
why are you taking them away?
Why are you taking them away from what they need to experience?
Yeah.
Because if they're screaming in the shop when there's a shop full of people, it's the barber's responsibility to educate, or the hairdresser to educate the peers in that room.
Yes.
And to say, right, we've got an autistic child in next. He might get a bit loud and overwhelmed. So please don't judge or look or glare or whatever. If you've got an issue, speak to me and I'll educate you.
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it, Craig? I think that's the pinnacle of what people like yourself. I did my previous podcast with a gentleman called Dave Sargent.
Yeah.
And he's just helped AB UK to raise funds via charity football. And he is really big on educating and raising awareness for autism.
Yeah.
And I think for me, we're all kind of trying to hit it from different angles. Yeah. And the biggest barrier, I suppose, is people actually understanding what is actually going on, the backstage. You know, they're only seeing front of house. They don't understand what's going on backstage with our SEN children. And they just automatically judge from what they can see on the front.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's why my MAD training that I told you about is very important to me, because it's not just training people, it's giving them an education on what SEN is, why that child is screaming or biting or throwing themselves on the floor, what's behind that behaviour, what you can do to help support that behaviour. So we are still fighting the same fight, just from a different angle.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the more people that we educate, the more awareness we raise. And I think it is more education. We're aware what autism is. I was having this conversation the other day with someone else. Everybody knows what autism is.
Exactly.
But do they understand it?
No.
Do they understand it? They know the name, they know the word, they know the label, but do they actually understand what special educational needs is, what SEN actually is?
Exactly.
No. Because if they did, they wouldn't judge, would they?
Exactly.
So it's a big fight we've got on our hands, but when you keep winning your rewards, the more you win more awards.
We've got another one soon, so we'll see if we'll get.
You've got another one soon. So what's that one? Tell me a bit about that one.
Best local salon, that one.
Best local salon.
So
you'll nail that one.
This is huge. This is like basically the World Cup of Hairdressing Awards.
Is it?
Yeah. So
and have you got to, where have you got to go for that?
So that's a trip down to London. So we'll see how that one goes. So that'd be scary if I win that one. So that's pretty much going up against people like franchises of Tony and Guy and people like that. So it's massive.
Well, so with I mean, obviously, you know, I don't know anything about hairdressing, clearly. But do they have categories?
Yeah, more categorised.
Yes.
So the people I'm up against are quite some pretty big salons.
But do they have a neurodiversity category?
No, they don't, unfortunately.
Why? Well, you better make them have one then. Well,
I get shortlisted every year for Community Hero with another hairdressing awards, but never come home with it. So,
well, I think it's on the cards.
On what judges are judging on that day,
right?
I think that's
Well,
what
I
it
think
is.
you should push a neurodiversity category.
I think I should.
I think you
So
should.
see what
And
happens.
call it the CH
Well,
category.
exactly. Well, if I win this one, it'll open doors what I need to open. So
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best, Craig, and I know you're going to absolutely smash it. So, apart from your academy, More Than Hair, which I absolutely love, what else is on the cards for Craig Henderson and Craig's Barbers in the next 12 months?
hopefully get a member of staff.
Member of staff.
That'd be the ideal thing. Because
Yeah.
I always say I don't want them to do the kids. They don't have to do the kids or the adults.
Right.
They don't have to do the people with disabilities. I don't expect that. All I want is understanding and empathy.
Yes.
So if that
And
said
you would think
child,
that was a human nature, wouldn't you? That's
yeah.
a
So
human.
if said child walks up to the barber and goes, touches his equipment, I don't want him biting his head off. And I don't want the customer who sat in his chair judging the child in the shop at the time.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean,
this is where
that's very minimal, isn't it? That's a minimal
requirement of life.
Minimal
Being a nice human
requirement.
being.
Just being a human being.
Exactly.
You know.
But finding that said human beings is nigh impossible. Because they all
Well, maybe we can put an ad together for you today. So if there's anybody out there listening and watching the Chaos and Calm podcast, Craig needs a barber with empathy.
You can cut her. I'm not bothered. Because even if they're not good at cutting her, I can train them that. I'm 21 years in.
Yes.
So I can help them improve the skill set.
They just need to be human.
Just need to be human. That's all I want.
God, what has the world come to when we just want a human barber? Someone that has empathy and, understanding and passion. Wow. I can't believe it's come to that. So you're opening up the academy. What else is next? You've got a few awards coming.
A few awards, got that. And just basically, it's just enjoy life. I've got a week off next week. So first week off in 6 years. So that's been fun.
Doing anything nice, Craig?
Turning off. I'm just looking forward to turning off because it's honestly it's frightening. The amount of families who reach out to me for support to say what should I say to my barber or my hairdresser when I go for a haircut with my son. What's your best advice you can give me?
It's a basic human right to have your haircut, isn't it?
Exactly.
And I cannot understand why I understand from a child's perspective why it's so difficult. Yeah. But I can't understand from a grown-up perspective why, and again, it goes back to the understanding, doesn't it? But there's people out there that will help educate you if you want to do that. Exactly. Just like yourself. It's very frustrating. So, Craig, because you get people coming from everywhere to you, literally everywhere. Your diary must be like jam-packed.
It's frightening.
Months in advance.
I think this August was booked up since March.
So August has been booked up since March?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think Christmas is almost done. The whole of December's nearly finished.
But you're just one person, aren't you?
I'm just a one-man band.
Just like me.
So much I can do.
Just like me. Only so much you can do. That's why we need to clone you. Well, I think it's going to be a very long-deserved rest, Craig. So is there anything else that you want to tell the listeners? Or, if you can give them some advice to speak to the barbers that they tend to use, what advice would you give them?
But take away all the fear.
Take away the fear.
Ask the barber to take away all the fear. And as I mean, go and sit at the reception area and cut his hair. Or her hair.
Yeah.
Or don't let them wear a gown. You don't have to let them wear a gown. Don't use clippers.
You use scissors, don't you, all the time? I remember you saying that.
But that's introduced in a controlled way.
Right.
It's all done. Everything's done in a controlled way. It's not forced on them.
Yeah.
Like some of my videos you've probably seen Gaynor. I've not even used comb on some of them because the comb sets them off.
Yeah.
But now they'll let me use a comb because I've introduced it in a safe way.
Yes.
And let them comb my arm hair, or I've combed a little bit, and then let them get used to the experience.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So just adapt to the situations. That's all.
And I think that's key. Yeah. And a lot of the conversations I have when I'm delivering my MAD training, and a lot of the conversations that I have with the parents that I speak to, it's all about, and I always say, the important thing is it's not for the child to change their behaviour, it's for the person or the people around them to adapt to theirs.
Exactly.
And that's how you make an inclusive society.
Exactly. All about adaptations.
Well, Craig,
It's so small. Just little small things make a massive difference.
well, this is it. And this is what I say all the time. And it makes a massive impact to that child because it allows that child to be able to attend or do something and feel more included.
Exactly.
Well, Craig, as usual, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm really pleased. And will you come back on and tell me all about your More Than Hair Academy?
When that happens, I will let you know.
I know you will.
I'll let you know when all that
keep us.
explodes at some point.
Oh, okay. Very, very. Keeping
I've
that
got a
in
lot of people
closed doors.
interested,
Right.
but it's just
Okay.
how they implement it. That's the thing.
Right.
So,
Well, listen, you know I'm here if you ever need my help.
yeah.
For anything at all. It's been a pleasure having you back on the Chaos and Calm podcast. I hope the people that are listening have taken some valuable information from this that they can take to other hairdressers. And I hope some hairdressers are listening to it and start to follow your lead, Craig.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. Well, listen, you have a good afternoon and take care. And I will speak to you again soon.
Yeah, all the best.
Thanks. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.